enough to be counted on. And this topic is brought to us by Game Time. You ever decide at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's on a game day and suddenly you realize, I got to be in the stands. Well, that's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it all possible. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. G, you just mentioned Cedric Tillman. He left practice on Saturday with a lower leg injury. Or Friday, left practice on Saturday. Kevin Stefanski said they dodged a bullet. It's not that serious. He'll be back at some point. But the knock on Cedric Tillman coming out of Tennessee was injuries. Struggled to stay healthy. Last season, he had the concussion that cost him the second half of his season. You see his season stats on the screen. The majority of those numbers came in a 3-game stretch with one Jameis Winston, including his game-winning touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens. He's been hurt in each of his first 2 NFL seasons in differing injuries. They haven't been the same thing over and over. But, gee, are we reaching the point with Cedric Tillman where he may be talented, he may end up being super productive, but all these little injuries are prohibiting him and stopping him from being a guy the Browns can truly count on as a full-time contributor? Do you think he'll ever be healthy enough to be that?
I mean, listen, it's a track record with injuries, and the Cleveland Browns track record with receivers is just bad. It's just, look, you look at Cedric Tillman and you go out there, and I made it a point to go watch him in drills, and he looks like a guy that should be getting 1,300 yards a year. He just looks like it. All the things. But you go, you once again look at practice, and he goes out and leaves with a lower body injury, according to Kevin Stefanski. And they said they dodged a bullet. But, I'm watching a lot of this stuff, and it just goes back to the evaluation process. Their ability to identify talented receivers is just very bad. I mean, the fact that you have to go get, Deontay Johnson and all of the stuff that, has, whether you talk about character issues or whatever the case may be, the disgruntled nature that he was with Baltimore. And then you get him, and now Deontay Johnson is down there with the 3s and the 4s. It's tough to me because I've never quite understood the Browns, their thought process on receivers. It's almost like every time you ask them about it, and you look around the league and you look at what the meta is for a good offense, you need 2 receivers. And the Browns consistently get 1 every other year and then say, I like my receiving room. They had Amari Cooper. And they're like, okay, well, let's go get Jerry Jeudy. And then Amari Cooper fell off, and they're like, nah, we got Jerry Jeudy. They consistently got 1 receiver in the possible, and we keep mentioning tight ends. Like, no, we got to stop that. You can have 2 things at once, tight ends and receivers. They don't make up for that.
It seems like to me.
Not us.
It seems like to me, fellas, that Andrew Berry likes projected potential. Just think about the guys he's drafted: the Cedric Tillmans, the Anthony Schwartz, the Donovan Peoples-Jones, right? He finds...
Throw David Bell in there.
Or the David Bell. He tries to find these guys...
Is he on a milk carton somewhere, David Bell? Where was he?
He tries to find these guys that might have these 1 and 2 intangibles that every other GM did overlooked, and I'm going to draft that guy, and then I'm going to get the most out of him because nobody else saw this, and I did, and it hasn't worked. The crazy part about it is, to me, out of all the receivers he's drafted, I think Cedric Tillman might be the most talented, but he comes with the injury history. I feel like this: the NFL stands for not for long, and we know that in the NFL, injuries happen early and often, and you can have injuries occur to more than one player that play that same position. And so that goes back to the organization on making sure that you have quality depth at the wide receiver position, because you're drafting a guy who has an injury history, and there is a strong probability that he won't be available to you for the entire season. And so what you want to do is maximize on his production when he is available. I know later in the show we're going to talk about Lonzo Ball, but Mike, don't that kind of sound like the Lonzo Ball situation when it comes to Cedric Tillman?
Yeah, a little bit. We actually may get a surprise guest here momentarily, so I don't know if we'll get to the Lonzo Ball conversation. But
it
in
sounds
theory,
similar.
yes, it does sound very familiar.
I would agree with that. I hadn't
similar.
thought that prior, but I think you're right. Like, there's baggage, there's issues, but boy, if in a perfect world, but when do the Browns ever live in a perfect world?
Never.
Like, you're like, hey, man, this guy, he slipped. He has talent. We all saw him at Tennessee. We know what he can be if he's healthy, but guess what?
He wasn't healthy.
So let me make sure I got something else
just
in case he's not available, right?
Yeah.
And so it's going to be tough.
What do you think of Luke Floria, by the way, guys? Luke has been pretty damn impressive for an undrafted free agent.
Let me tell you something. I
works his tail
like
off, too.
all the above.
He's from here. Of course he works his tail
listen,
off.
and every time I see him doing something, he catching the football.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll take it. I just think that the Browns have this thing where it sounds great in a vacuum that we're going to run this ball and it's going to be great. Listen, man, if you do not have downfield threats, you are going to be in trouble. Because as of today, if I was a defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, I'm not scared of anything you got. I don't feel Jerry Jeudy is running by me. We'll let him get his underneath routes off, and then we'll corral him. We'll make sure that we don't give up too many big plays or get points. We're not scared of the fact that you're going to have a ball control offense and that you're going to be able to make field goals because you're going to be kicking a lot of them this year. We don't believe in that. You're going to
try a lot of them.
Yeah, you're going to try a lot of them. Your quarterback, Joe Flacco, we know what he is. You got a couple of rookies after that. No one else scares you on that side of the football. And so what are you guys planning on doing? Like, where's the threat? Where's the pressure offensively?
Play Myles Garrett at fullback.
And we had that conversation too.
Hey,
remember?
He might be our most productive player.
You talk about a threat on the offense, play him at fullback. There you go.
It's tough. I mean, Cedric Tillman, he had some flashes, but then he missed. I mean, I can't get mad because it's a concussion, but it was like 7 weeks.
I know, and you know what? You can't get mad because it's a concussion, but here's my thing. I can't get excited because it's another injury. And that's what's key. It's almost like, yeah, we'll see. If we ever get to him, we'll see. It's kind of like where we are with Judkin right now. Yeah, I'm excited if he plays, but the if part is a big part of it. Do we have Rob?
We do. This is the quickest we've ever had should we get a guest on? Yes. And now he's officially in the queue. We're going to bring in Rob Parker here in 1 second.
Man.